add our meeting summary, both of the meeting summaries. So the questions that we're supposed to cover, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things that I have noted as topics that we're supposed to cover. So,
Okay.
and I thought Sarah joined. I thought I saw her jump on there.
Yeah. Here I am. Can you see me?
Yep.
Okay.
I can. You're starting the report. You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right. Did you guys just want to go ahead and like make the Google Doc of those 8 questions, and then we just kind of can talk about it piece by piece? And
yeah.
Attempt that.
Yeah.
Somebody has a rock star in the background.
Are you hearing that? Can you turn that down?
No, it's fine. It's awesome.
It's that kid that's yodeling. You haven't seen it yet.
Oh man. What did you? But real quick, I guess. What did you guys think about the interview?
I think it went pretty good. If you guys, in the meantime, want to discuss some of the things she wanted us to go over, I wrote down. So the first part is, the information, how we analyze the interview, kind of like, the hypotheses we came up with, what did we learn? And then from there, the next subject would be just how our team participation went, team performance. Do we need to revisit our team charter? I kind of feel like we should start with that part first, kind of how everyone did. And then moving on to analyzing the stuff that Raphael said. What do you guys think?
So real quick, Sarah, can you run through the things that you want to cover? I'm going to drop them into this Google Doc, and then I'll send you guys the link.
Okay, yeah. She said in 2 different sections. So the first one she mentioned was just the information we gathered and how we analyze it, analyzing, what we got out of Raphael. And the second portion of it being analyzing our team participation, team performance, touching a little bit on our team charter. Do we need to revisit it? Those were the 2 main ways she mentioned us wanting to analyze this interview.
Okay.
What do you guys want to, how do you guys want to start?
I'll just add to that there were a list of questions that she included in the actual assignment.
Oh,
so
okay.
It might be helpful for us to just try to answer those questions as we go too.
Okay.
Is it the 8 big tent criteria for excellent qualitative research?
Yeah, it was that list.
Okay.
Is that right, Ethan? Is that what you see too as what we need to do?
That's what it looks like, I think. I'm trying to find the what she's talking about here.
And then as a function of
Okay.
So this is not pretty, but it's a start.
All right. Do you want me to just start reading them?
Yeah, what's the first question?
So the first criteria for quality is it a worthy topic? is the topic of the research, or in our case, the interview, relevant, timely, significant, and interesting?
Well, our criteria was, teamwork, right? Just different dynamics of teamwork through raw files experience. So I think it was valuable. It was really reassuring to hear someone else have very similar leadership theories as I do. What do you guys think?
Just real quick, you guys, I just sent you the link to the Google Doc.
Email?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to take me a second to get there. The RAM of this notebook is not very good, but I will get there. It's like, you want to be on the internet and open up an email? No, not at the same time. Okay.
So Sarah, sorry I interrupted you. I know you're multitasking right now, but I can also capture your answer. Ethan, was that the first question? Because I was only half listening.
So in here, it's not stated as a question, and it's in the textbook. But I mean, if you want me to state it as a question, was
no. However, you want to capture it. I just want to make sure we capture it.
Okay, so it's in a table. The first criteria, it just says worthy topic. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, so we're only selecting 3 of the 8 criteria to talk about in this meeting.
I just literally copied it into our assignment, so we should probably in 3 to period the first
Ultimate. Down to theoretical data
variability, and then the one. I don't think worthy topic. I don't think. Meaningful coherence. What is that even?
So that it breaks it down into achieves what it purports to be about.
You want to just start at the top, rich rigor, and assuming that we're going to have
So,
okay, so just make sure we are interested on the implementation to these criteria.
You don't mind if we on this?
That
would
I'll try it. Maybe I'll a little bit. So
and then these bullets that you can put in both here we are doing research the research
and we kind of like volunteered somebody, and that was then me. But like in that, let's say I had to raise hand to go and answer questions. So in the context of the interviewee, it matches what we want to try to learn. So, that question.
I'm just typing as you're talking here, so make sure I'm capturing things that you're trying to make.
So is that data? I mean, how much data? But times obviously we were talking about your work as a department supervisor, correct?
Yeah. So department supervisor, department manager.
So you always have time in the field and offered samples and.
So like how, and I didn't explain it in the interview, but of course, like I had previous supervisory roles. So like, knowing the subject, knowing the interviewee, it's like in that data and time in the field, it's like, okay, so we evaluated that. I had a reasonable amount of time in the field, so that way it's not like, hey, last week I became a supervisor, and then like how quality is that if it was just me only in the field for like a week versus how quality of information that I would bring if I was coming from a longer time point. So whenever I brought it up from being on a soccer team to then moving towards like these different job positions and whatnot, time in field then that's where that selection process, that's where that rigor kind of builds. That it's been for a long time collecting data that way of what it means to be in a team or what it means to be in leadership role. Right?
Yeah. Are you reading as I'm typing here? To just make sure, I just want to make sure that I'm capturing what you guys are discussing, or that we're discussing, and that we're in agreement that I'm representing it correctly.
Are we turning this in?
Yeah, I believe so. Where did I see that? Okay, we can keep discussing.
Wait, actually, no, do we have to turn this in, or do we just have to discuss it as,
I thought we just said discuss it, but there's a lot of instructions here, so.
So keep discussing then. I'm just going to keep these notes, and we can pull from these notes as we put together our individual.
Yeah, it's better to have, like if this is just a backup, it's better to have actually something written down so that way we're not rushing. She seems to be a little bit confused on writing the assignment itself down. So I feel like it's kind of, this makes it a little bit easier, nicer.
Okay.
And we can pull the information from this and kind of can, better state our own individual assignments.
Mm-hmm.
We know the thought process. The team work together, plan, affects methodology for the collection, ability to expand the research. Well, okay.
So I think we established credibility through the interview process. I mean, Rafael, for me, you're easily credible, right? Just in terms of the trustworthiness, the content, or the contribution, the information that you're sharing to me kind of validates, if you will, your experience and my understanding of how we're using credibility here. Adds up. Sorry, for lack of a better word, right? So, do you guys understand credibility differently?
No, I mean, I guess just like a different way to look at credibility is just your experience before you were on that level D, working your way up there. Let me see. I took a lot of notes here, but I do remember you kind of talking about staying relatable and kind of credible to your team by kind of, you know, getting your hands dirty, being visible, being present. So what I took from credibility was just how you stay credible to your team and how you kind of try and stay on their level, as well as, you know, when to flex that and when to switch back to, you know, kind of that like assertive leadership role. Does that make any sense to anyone?
Yep. Ethan, are we on the right track? Do you feel okay with what you're hearing?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to make sense of the bullet points on their credibility.
Triangulation and crystallization. That's a good one.
Page 235 of the reading, if that's helpful. Or if you printed it, page 9. Sarah, this part's for you, where I'm saying here, I'm just trying to capture what you said in terms of Raphael really being able to speak to and give us specific examples of how he was able to establish trust or trustworthiness with his team. Again, another form of credibility. If I didn't capture that quite right, let me know.
No, that looks good to me. I know it looks like you're still typing it, but yeah.
Wait, Ethan, are you able to understand what crystallization is in that bullet point for credibility?
No, I'm not sure what it has to do with the paragraph that it offers above describing credibility. Not sure.
I think that might tie to just the clarity or the clarity, right? Some of the stories, the examples he gave us provided, they were believable, right? Because they were really clear, whereas I think somebody that maybe didn't have the experience or wasn't speaking from experience probably wouldn't have had that same kind of clarity or crystallization as my definition is, or how I'm trying to define it.
Okay.
Ethical, procedural ethics, situational and cultural specific ethics.
By the way, sorry, real quick. The thing just told me on there that it has 10 minutes to go. Do you want me to just like quickly add in another session there thingy just for us to get to that 1 hour mark to kind of?
I think, Sarah, do you have us at 6:45?
Yeah, have us at 6:45. It wouldn't let me hit 6:40, so okay. Have us for 6:45.
All right.
In the reading on page 236, there's more information there about crystallization as well, if you guys want to talk about that more. It refers to a practice while avoiding the realism associated with the term triangulation. So it looks like the crystallization and triangulation are, I don't know if I want to say opposed, but in the reading it's referred to there.
Okay.
Multiple facets of crystals reflect externalities and refract within themselves, creating different colored patterns arrays. Well, so I think that's just referring to our angle, our perspectives. Anyone want to add to that? I don't want to lead us down a wrong path.
Because credibility can be based, so come from viewpoints so that we have a broader sense of what is like what the data looks like technically, like looking at it from some different viewpoints so that we can
Different
see
perspective. Yeah.
so like
Yeah, more than one perspective.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I
Did
got
it appear in the interview? Do you guys think that appeared, or like was it a real focused in, point of view, or was it a wider point of views that were coming together that I guess I was describing? Was it that I was describing it in a wider set of point of views that was kind of showed you the bigger picture, or was it that I was in the credibility sense, I just only had one set mindset?
Well, so as researchers, right, if Ethan, Sarah, and I were the researchers and you were what we were researching through the vehicles, I would say both based on the actual interview, but also the interview preparation, that we did come from different perspectives, performing and planning, just because of having different experiences. And we all look through different lenses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you guys think we're set? We're on credibility. You guys want to move on to ethical?
Yeah.
Sure.
Real quick. I mean, another way you offered multiple perspectives is that you were not just talking about your time as a department supervisor. It was also when you were just a standard associate. So that offered more than one perspective on the teamwork.
Well, you did touch too a little bit on your young leadership, being captain on a sports team, right? And just kind of how, I guess maybe leadership's always been, an aspect of yours or an attribute of yours. But being in different teamwork environments definitely just overall provides you different experiences and a wider lens. So going on to ethical, procedural ethics, situational, relational ethics, starting with procedural ethics, it was really obvious that, you take pride in your work, and especially now being in that leadership role, you tend to care more, about, now that you have more perspective, you care more about the little things, like, things being where they're supposed to be, and that giving you an overall understanding. So I think procedural ethics are there. You take pride in your work, like I said. Relational ethics were also pretty strong. You talked a lot about just, your interpersonal and individual skills that you've developed with the team and your overall success with the team. So I think that was a really important aspect of the interview. What do you guys think?
Can I just jump in?
Oh, yeah.
Real quick. So I'm just worried that the assignment, because there is confusion, I just want to say, I think we're supposed to be coming from this, from the perspective as the research team, and if we approached our research ethically, meaning.
Oh, okay.
Did we ethics in a qualitative research that perspective, right? From a procedural place, did we approach it using ethics in terms of the context we're studying, the ethics of working sometimes quite closely and intimately with research participants. So that's all. We can discuss both sides of it so that we're totally covered, but I think that's what she said was assess the interview as a research project or through a qualitative research lens. What do you guys think?
I think that makes sense.
And I think everything you just said that applies to Raphael specifically also applies to the team. So, right, because, well, I'll be quiet. I'm talking a lot.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
No, I mean, at no point in time that I feel like anything was ethically questionable, if that makes sense.
I think overall, Raphael felt comfortable to answer honestly, and I think that's really an important part of the ethical procedures. It was honest conversation. I don't feel like he withheld anything. I guess you can say this is a safe environment. This is a safe place, you know?
Yeah.
Got a minute 30, by the way.
Okay. That we were honest and forthright, right? That our intentions were good. There were no kind of underlying agendas, that we had respect of the subject through the process, that we were sincere in our curiosity and in doing the research. I think good examples of just being ethical through the interview itself and in preparation.
I like that, the sincerity of our curiosity. God, you have such a way with words, Marcy. I love it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Please help me with the writing, because I don't know how to properly do that too. But
Okay, how's that? Oops.
I like that.
Correctly. Okay. I feel like we've probably demonstrated our understanding of the three criteria, at least three of the criteria, which was part of this assignment.